record that as well. So I think we're ready to go. So hello traders, welcome to another live stream. I'm actually going to be streaming the New York session today, simply because I don't think I'll be able to stream the UK session, because normally I stream the UK session every single day, Monday to Thursday, from 7:30 to 10 a.m. UK time. But I've got something to do tomorrow morning, so instead I'm going to be streaming the US session. So for the next hour and a half, I will be streaming my live trades. Now this is a trade, first of all, that we opened a couple of days ago on Monday. If you guys joined me on Monday, I actually opened this trade Monday night, simply because I didn't stream on Monday due to the fact that it was a bank holiday Monday. It was Easter Monday, and I did not expect the market to be volatile, so that was the reason why I did not stream on Monday. But however, I did place a trade on Monday night based on one of my strategies that I use for my day trading, which is the extended runner strategy. Now I took a trade here on a Monday night. I sold it, so that's the area you got marked in a little circle right there. That's where I took the trade. I took a short position, and obviously yesterday, during yesterday's streaming session, I noticed, I pointed out the fact that the market is in a contraction phase, and usually these types of contractions tend to break in the upward direction. And I think I put a little something here as well. What am I looking for? The path here. I did put a little path here that said this market did have a 10% chance of just going in this direction. However, I did say the fact that coming up to US session, we could potentially get a reversal. Also the fact that we got a previous structure support here, which could act as the perfect place for the market to reverse, but I wasn't really interested in that. I knew that this with this kind of strategy, even if the market does go up, it's going to eventually come down. If you watch my live stream on Tuesday, I pointed this out, the fact that I'm not worried about the market breaking to the upside from this. I wasn't worried about that, because with this extended runner strategy, if the market goes up, it will only give me a chance to add on to my position. Even though I did not add on to my position, because we just did it. We did not have any sort of volatility at all in the market since yesterday close. As you can see, the market just kind of played around a little bit here, and nothing really happened. So I wasn't really excited about it, because I never got the chance to add on to my position. But this was always going to happen, because I already pointed out. I said, guys, this trade is going to happen, and there's no reason that it's not going to happen. And there's a reason why. If you guys have been joining me, I've joined my live stream over the last couple of weeks, you've seen the results that we take using this day trading strategy. Losses are quite rare, are very rare. Let me just bring up the results for this week so far. Yesterday we took a 32 pip win on the pound New Zealand dollar, and so that was our 6th win of this month so far. Only one loss, 6 wins and 1 loss. So that brings us at a total pips to about 488. Hope that's right. 32, yeah, 488 pips. 488 pips for the month so far. I mean, we're still way behind what we did last month, but this is only the 2nd week, and we've got a couple of trades that are currently open, and those are the trades that I just talked about. So one of them is the US dollar against the Japanese yen, and the other one, it's still not in profit yet. It's the pound against the Japanese yen, and this is a totally different structure, even though it's the same in terms of the strategy that I took this trade based upon. Again, I took a sell order here at Monday close, with the expectation that this market will go down. But obviously, I do knowing this strategy. Like I said, if you understand this strategy, you're gonna see that. So if you understand this strategy, you will know how to trade it. So I know how to trade a strategy because this is my strategy. This is my strategy. I know exactly how to trade it. So taking a short position here, even though, like, when I explained the strategy yesterday, I told you this, there's only like a 10% chance of the market going down from there. But trust me, that 10% chance, I'd rather be on that 10% chance than to be on this side. Because with this side, the higher it goes, once it starts crashing down, just like we're seeing on the US dollar against the Japanese yen trade, you can see this is probably it's most definitely a news announcement that caused this market to slide down. And and that's one thing about news. I mean, there's some traders I might be scared of trading news announcements, fundamentals and all that. But if you understand technical analysis, a lot of times the news is it's almost like the catalyst you need for the market to move in that direction. I couldn't care less what the news was. I really couldn't care less. Yesterday when I made this prediction, I told you guys, if this market goes up from here, which obviously we had an 85% chance of the market going up from here, it's just gonna come down. Like, regardless of what the news was, I have no idea what the news that came out today. Probably something to do with the US dollar. I could check it right now. The only news I pay attention to probably is the non-farm payroll, and I don't even trade on Fridays. So any other news, maybe interest rate decision, that's something I do pay attention to. But in case of what happened today, like, I couldn't care less what the news was. Regardless of what the news was, the market was always going to go down. Because this is how this strategy works. So the extended runner strategy, like I said, the market going up there, couldn't panic. I couldn't care less. I wasn't even, this morning, like, the market was going up. I knew it was going to go up based on the contraction pattern here. Because contractions like this, they always break to the upside. But we had no sort of volatility here. I would have added to my position if the market had shown a little bit of strength, a little bit of I would have added onto my position, and it would have, this win that we're in right now would have been a lot bigger. But right now, in terms of where I think the market is going to head down to, the market will probably head down to the opening price of this week, and that's where I'm looking to take my profit. How long have we got? Still got about 113 pips to go. But this market needs to at least get very close today, because I would like to be out of this trade by tonight. Because the closer I get to Friday trading this strategy, the more I want to be able to liquidate my position, most of my position. Because I'm never, you're never going to see me having a position open into Friday. There's going to be rare occasions where I'm going to trade on Friday. Very, very rare occasions. But I'm not going to have an open position heading into Friday. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining. If you do have anything that you want to talk about regarding trading, just put it in the group. Let's talk about trading. I'm going to be streaming the US session for the next hour and a half. And as a matter of fact, why don't I I'm going to check what the news announcement, like, It came out. So calendar 130. Oh, CPI, US dollar CPI came out worse than what was predicted. And we also we got an interest rate decision from Canada for 3 o'clock. That's an hour 55 minutes from now. So looks like I might have to check up my Canadian dollar pairs, currency pairs, and see if there's a potential. There could be a potential trade um, for me to take. So let me head over to my. Let's start with the dollar card for now, and this is probably where you're gonna get a little bit insight into my strategy. You will get a little bit insight. First of all, looking at this market here, we're on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, and I don't think I have what I need to trade here. However, I can probably tell you with a high degree of accuracy where I think Canada is gonna head. Now this box should be a little bigger because I tend to look at the market on a wider perspective for the whole week. I tend to look at the market for the whole week. I mean, we've had a. So what's the current pip range for this week? Is about 120 pips. It's anybody's guess. I mean, I'll probably lean towards a spike down, and then we get a complete reversal. Today being Wednesday, we could have this is by no means a Wednesday reversal trade. But I just think that when it comes to Canada today, based on what the structure of the market has done, the average pip range, the structural pattern, because everything points towards the market spiking down. We could come back down to this low. We could spike down to this low, and then we see a market completely reverse. Because again, you have to look at this market. You have to look at the structure as a whole. This is a potential double bottom that the market will come and put down here. But in terms of trading for me, I don't really have any trade. There's nothing, because most of my trades, I look for trades that not only are gonna give me a high percentage of win, but trades that are gonna be less risky in a way. So this, in terms of this, I mean, I have no idea how, if we do spike down, no one can tell you exactly by how many pips the market is going to spike down, because it depends on the, like, this is one of those situations where once the interest rate decision comes out, it just depends on how traders interpret it. So it can spike down by 100 pips, it can spike down by 150 pips before we get a complete reversal. It can spike down by just 50 pips. So there's no telling how low it's going to go. So I'll probably stay out of it, but I'll be very interested to see what's going to happen once we get to 3 o'clock. So other Canadian dollar price, Canadian dollar currency pairs to look at. Aussie CAD, not really interested in Aussie CAD. Maybe Canada yen, because I've been trading yen pairs. Canada yen is a very interesting one. Oh, so we do have we have an extended runner on the Canada yen. An extended runner. Looks like the market has already turned. It's already turned. So I will not be surprised if this market comes all the way back down to the opening price for this week. I will not be surprised, because we do have an extended runner. This should have been a trade that I probably would have taken this trade. I think this is one of the trades that was kind of on my radar, but I went for the dollar yen and the pound yen. But yeah, this is going to be a potentially a very good short at 3 o'clock. Again, we might get a spike to retest these highs, and then the market will come down. But it's going to be very interesting. I'll be keeping my eye on it. And what other Canadian pair are we gonna look at now? NZ CAD. No, I'm not interested in those Canadian pairs that don't really have any kind of volatility in them, to be honest. So Aussie CAD, Swissy, New Zealand CAD, they don't really bother me. They don't really interest me. They're not currency pairs that you ever see me trade. So GBP CAD does tend to have some little bit of volatility, but it's been dead this week, completely dead. So this one is anybody's guess where the market is gonna go once the news and answer come out. Like, you would be a total, I mean, in terms of looking at the mixture market on a bigger picture. Well, we do have a contracting pattern. We have a contraction here. Yep, and these types of contraction usually break to the upside. And you can clearly see that the market is trending up. If you focus on this part of this structure, you can clearly see the market is trending up. So we do have a contraction, and yeah, we can potentially see the GBP CAD going up. So GBP CAD, I'm gonna put all those currency pairs next to each other, because once it gets to 3 o'clock, then we're gonna look at them. So how are we doing on our trade? Let's go back to the 15-minute chart. No change really. Okay, so still expecting this market to trend down. Let me just try and see if I can get more people into the group. And come on, guys, anybody in the group, you want to have anything you want to say, any question you want to ask? And I'm going to delete that. Let's see. I should probably change the title to US session, because okay, yeah. Like I said, guys, the reason I'm streaming this the US session is because I will not be available to stream tomorrow morning. Although I might stream the US session tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I might just do that. Ah. Whew. I needed some water. What's my favorite? Heartbeat missing like a junkie. I just need you to want. I'm not asking too much. I need some wine. Something came over me. It's too hard to. That's from over here. Close some. Oh. Guys, we're just 4 minutes away from the official US opening, and obviously at 3 o'clock we've got the interest rate decision from Canada. And obviously I don't think I'll be trading any of the Canadian pairs, but I just did an analysis to show you guys what I think is gonna happen. Yeah, definitely very interesting. I think we have a very interesting. Canada yen is most likely gonna go down, to be honest. But yeah, I will be looking at those pairs once we get to 3 o'clock UK time. We're only about half an hour away from then. So, and obviously this trade this is a trade I've opened Monday night. So for those of you guys who tuned into my streaming yesterday morning and also today in the morning, you must have seen what I thought my thoughts on this currency pair in terms of where I think it's headed. I mean, obviously right now we're probably most likely heading all the way down here, because this is where I'll be looking to take my profit. Because I would like to be exiting my positions as we approach Fridays, because I don't want to be in the market. My strategy, the day trading strategy that I trade, it's not for Fridays. It's just not. There's a very few, I think in a year I'll probably trade on Fridays maybe 3 or 4 times maximum. Yeah, and this current phase that we're in, or this current strategy. I mean, last week it's quite strange, because last week, for the whole of last week, all the strategy that I was trading for the whole of last week was the runner strategy, and all of a sudden this week I've got 2 trades with the extended runner. One of them is clearly on profit. The one on this currency pair, dollar yen. The one on the pound yen is still on a loss. Yeah, that is a very strange one. So we'll see. This might probably end up being a losing trade, if I'm honest with you. But we'll see what's going to happen, because today is going to determine what's going to happen with this trade. Ideally, I would like to see it go a little bit further down, but it looks like we're kind of getting like a reversal, just at the official US opening, which is just a minute away. But the dollar yen is gonna this is gonna be a winning trade. It's just a matter of how many pips I end up taking from this trade, because currently it's in a profit of about 72 pips, and ideally I'll probably be taking around 170 pips. So I'm still like 100 pips away from my target. The question is, are we gonna get there today? That's the question. Are we gonna get there today? But we'll see. Maybe the Canadian news that is coming up at 3 o'clock is going to have an impact. Maybe the fact that right now it's officially, the US market is officially open. So yeah, you never know. We could get some volatility over the next few hours. Because heading into Thursday, I wouldn't really, I would look to be liquidating my position. as we head into towards the end of Thursday. So we still got at least a day and a little bit left to see where this market is going to head down to. But with the pound yen, I'm not so confident on that one, which it's still going to give us a a profitable week, because we've already closed one position on the pound New Zealand dollar. That was the trade we took yesterday on a runner strategy. We only took about 32 pips on that one, but this one is so far looking good. Like I said, this is where we entered the position. This is where we entered the short position here, and yeah, currently a profit of just over £200. So let's see. Hopefully we're gonna get some volatility over the next couple hours, and then obviously interest rates decision for Canada at 3 o'clock UK time. That's gonna have an impact. Not on this currency pair particularly, but on some of the Canadian currency pairs, which I've analyzed a few minutes ago, and obviously showing you guys my thoughts. If there's anything you want me to analyze, guys, you can just drop it in the live chat, and I can see it in front of me. I can see the live chat in front of me. So any questions, anything you say on there, I will be able to respond immediately. But yeah, I mean, we're here to talk about trading, guys. So, and I'm sure you guys are watching my live stream right now are interested in trading. Maybe if some of you have already been joining me in my UK sessions over the last week, because I've started streaming this last week. I streamed Monday to Thursday last week, mostly the UK session, 7:30 to 10. And the reason why I'm actually streaming the US session now is because I won't be able to stream tomorrow morning. So I might be streaming 2 US sessions in a row. So I might be streaming US session tomorrow as well. And then tomorrow is Thursday, obviously that's the last day of stream. I hardly trade on Fridays, guys, so you're never gonna see me stream on Fridays. I wouldn't even bother. So yeah, but feel free to join every week. Mostly UK session. That's when I do my most of my trades. You're never gonna see me placing trades at the US session, to be honest, and just depends. Unless if I get my Wednesday reversals strategy. So as we pay attention to what this market is doing, yesterday I painted 2 scenarios for you guys. I painted a scenario where the market could potentially go down from here, but that was only a 10% chance because we had this contraction. And these types of contraction usually break to the upside. You can see we already broke out of that contraction. Now I think we have enough momentum that is going to take us all the way down. The market is just taking a little pause here, and so probably waiting for the Canadian interest rate, even though I don't think that's going to affect this currency pair that much. But it's going to affect the market. Any kind of decisions like that does bring a reaction. The pound yen is not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. Even though, truthfully speaking, only down in about 40 pips, so that is not too bad. That is not too bad. Let's see where the market is going to end today. I think this is a very, very tricky one. This is a very tricky one because it's one of those trades, or one of these, based on the structure of the market. There's more potential. There's potential for the market going up than going down. So if there's any, if I'm worried about any of my trades right now, this is the only one I'm kind of worried about. I'm not worried about the dollar yen. That one is heading to profit. It just depends on how much I think enough is enough, or when I do have a specific place I'm going to be taking my profit, but I don't think we're going to get there. So but with this one, it doesn't give me any kind of structure that I think the market is going to head down. maybe apart from there's nothing. So even looking at these on the RSI, I mean, I don't use indicators to trade. I just don't, because I believe they're just a waste of time. Indicators are a waste of time. Anybody who's gonna argue with me, yeah, feel free to do that. But indicators are a waste of time. I don't use indicators. I don't use any. You're not gonna see nothing on my chart. All these things I put on my chart is just to to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. But it's nothing to. It doesn't help the trade. It doesn't help the trade in any way. I'm a structural trader. I'm a technical trader. I analyze structures, price actions, and all those sort of things. And this isn't telling me this market is gonna head down. Even though I'm short on this it's not telling me that it's gonna head down. So the question is, like, when do I think enough is enough? So I'm going to be the one to judge when I think it's totally not possible for the market to give me any profit, or I'll cut my losses and go. I mean, so far the market has done over 116 pips today, and that should be enough momentum to keep driving this all the way down until close, and I'll make my decision then. But yeah, it's definitely not looking good on the pound yen. Definitely not looking good on that one. Dollar yen, that one looks good. It looks good. We're taking a pause here, so maybe, who knows, the strength of the yen might be the one to just bail me out on the pound yen. But yeah, we'll have to wait till 3 o'clock and see what the Canadian interest rate is gonna, if it's gonna have any impact on this currency at all. Whew. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the CAD is gonna react. I think we're gonna spike down and then we continue up. So CAD yen to go down, dollar CAD to go up. But we might see opposite immediate reaction once the news has been announced. But it just doesn't give me enough. I mean, I could have traded, but the risk is just not good enough for me. The risk to reward ratio not good enough for me. As you know, guys, most of my trades, we're talking about, I mean, if you look at the results we've been having over the last 3 months, we're now in the 4th month, you can see that the huge wins and in terms of the pips wins, we're talking about 420 pips, 250, 270, 260, 240. Those are most of my trades are like that, because I'd like to be on the right side where I'm gonna make the maximum profit on any trade. Right now, the CAD dollar and the CAD yen, the dollar CAD and the CAD yen doesn't give me that. It's more of a, like I said, we could spike down 50 pips. We could spike down 150 pips. Like, there's just no way of knowing exactly. But yeah, so I will definitely not be trading the CAD yen today, or the dollar CAD, any of the CAD pairs. Just have to look at and wait for this. Yeah, pound yen is going to be a losing trade, I'm afraid. Will be a losing trade. Have I lost any extended runner trades so far? I don't really remember. Yeah, this is going to be the first extended runner trade that I'm going to lose in 4 months. I'll take that. I'll take that. But yeah, like I said, it's still a long way to go. I'm hoping that the strength of the yen is gonna be the one to determine where the pound yen is gonna head. So Yeah, we're seeing a little slight pullback on the dollar yen. That's probably the reason why the pound yen is heading back up, but I'm hoping this is just a pullback. Quite a strong pullback. Pullback over 50 pips now. I mean, it's not strange to see a reaction like this from the market, to be honest, considering if you understand contractions. This contraction is the market came back, broke the previous structure low here of this contraction. So this is just a reaction. Once the market breaks the structure, is always a sign of communication. That's the first sign of communication. That's the market telling you that, hey, I'm about to head in that direction. But every single time, probably most often than not, I would say at least around 70 to 80% of the time, once the market breaks the structure, it pulls back. You can this is all to do with, if you understand structure, if you understand technical analysis, the market always pulls back once it breaks its structure. And yeah, so this is probably what we're getting right now. And what we do, we looks like we're getting a kind of volatility in the market as well. I mean, that's not surprising considering the US market is open at the moment, and we've got the Canadian interest rate coming up in about 20 minutes time. So yeah, we're about 15 minutes away from the interest rate decision from Canada. So yeah, still watching this dollar yen trade, and this is where we're just getting a pullback here, guys. This is just a pullback. We're probably gonna get a correction here before the market heads down. So, and once we get to around 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be switching this to the dollar card, because so we can see how the market is going to react to that. I'm not going to be trading it because I don't have any valid trade setups that gives me a good risk to reward ratio. So I'm definitely not going to be trading any of the Canadian currency pairs. But I do potentially think that, you know, the Canadian dollar, the CAD yen, and the dollar CAD are going to go in a particular direction. The US dollar CAD is going to be going up, I think, and the CAD yen should be going down. But who knows? We might get a spike in the opposite direction before that move actually happens. Like, I'm just speaking based on the structure of the market. Like, I do not care about what the interest rate is going to be. I can look at a structure of the market and have an idea of where the market is going to go, and that market is likely going to go in that direction regardless of what the interest rate decision or what the news is. Just like this trade, made this prediction yesterday morning that we are going to get a move up and then the market is going to come down. I had no idea there was going to be a news that would have an impact, because whatever the news was, I knew it's only going to act as a catalyst in the direction of the in which the market is heading right now. So in about 10 minutes I'm going to be switching to the CAD yen and on the dollar CAD, sorry, because that's the currency pair we're gonna look at in preparation for the interest rate decision. And we'll see what the market is how the market is gonna react. Yeah, probably half an hour after that I will be ending the stream. So like I said, normally I stream during the UK session, but I will not be available to stream tomorrow, so that's why I'm streaming the US session right now. And yeah, so if you guys are the first time you're joining me, then you might wanna, if you like what you see, then normally I stream during the UK session, so it might be a different time zone wherever you guys are. So you may not be able to attend, which is also fine. Like I said, maybe I'll try occasionally to stream during the US session. Like tomorrow I will be streaming the US session just because I will not be available tomorrow morning. So I'll try and stream the US session, and obviously by then probably most of my trades are gonna be on the verge of being closed, because like I said, as I head into Friday, I rarely trade on Friday, and based on what the structure of the market doing on all the currency pairs that I trade right now, I do not have a setup that is gonna make me trade on Friday. So I will not be trading on this Friday, and I will be exiting all my positions tomorrow. I've only got a couple positions, so maybe even today I might exit one of them depending on the volatility we've got in the market. So this is the dollar yen that I'm paying attention to see how the market is gonna, where the market is gonna end up. Right now we're kind of getting like a pullback after this huge move down, and so yeah, once this pullback is done, I expect the market to head down. So, but yeah, in about 7 minutes I will be switching this to the dollar yen, to the dollar CAD, sorry, and we also look at the other CAD pairs and see. This drop was caused by the CPI. I think I just checked the news calendar, economic news calendar, to see what caused that drop. I mean, I couldn't care less. I knew the drop was coming, but it was about 117 pips. So normally you would expect the market to correct. If the market usually corrects close to about 40 to 50% of the impulse, like most of the time, and that's usually where the 618 retracement is. If you guys are familiar with the Fibonacci retracement, the market usually corrects to the 50%, 618, 382. Those are like the three most important Fibonacci ratios, and we're getting exactly the 50% retracement on this one. It could go up to the 618, but yeah, at some point you expect this pullback to go down and make another low. hopefully that will take me to where I would like to be exiting the market and taking my profit, which is going to be down here at around 131.80, 85. Yeah, for those of you that are joining me now, I will be switching over to the dollar CAD, just because we've got the interest rate decision coming up at around 3 o'clock, and we're gonna see how the market is gonna react to that news. We're also going to talk about it. I will not be trading that currency pair, like I said, because I don't have any trade that gives me a good risk to reward ratio. So I will not be trading any of the CAD pairs, but I will be looking at it and seeing how the market is going to react to it. What's happening with the pound yen? The pound yen, that's the trade I'm going to take a loss on this. Potentially going to take a loss on it, because I do not have anything that tells me in terms of, structurally, actually, and price action. I don't have anything that tells me this market is gonna head down. It doesn't mean that the market is never gonna head down. It could head down. Of course it could head down, because that's the reason I took the trade. And as you've seen from my results guide, I haven't lost an extended run or trade in the last, since this year started. Every single extended run or trade that I took this year has been a winning trade. 1, 2, 3 in January, 3 in January, 3 in February, 6 trades so far, and they've all been winning trades on the extended run. And you can see the pips taken from those, So maybe today could be the first time I lose an extended run or trade, which is okay. I mean, you're not going to win every single trade in the world. You're not going to do that. I can promise you that. But if you have a strategy that wins you 80%, 90% of the time, and has a very, very good risk to reward ratio, that is something that is very, very, very rare, guys. I promise you that. Because most strategies out there only have a winning percentage of about 60, and this is one of the reasons why there's very, very low percentage of people that actually make money consistently in trading. It's because every strategy out there that you see, every strategy out there that you see on the internet, the one that you learn on YouTube, those strategies only win you about 60% of the time. And in order to make money with a strategy that wins you 60% of the time, you have to trade like a machine. Why do you have to trade like a machine? Because machine is the only thing that can eliminate emotion from trading. And emotion is a very, very big part of trading. So you see where I'm going with this. That's why for you to make money with a strategy that wins about 60% of the time, you need to have at least close to 10 years of experience in the Forex market. Because those times, those years are going to build you mentally. Because the more losses you go through, the more losses you take, the more you learn, the more you understand how to control your emotions. It's not just about, when people talk about the emotional part of trading is probably the hardest part of, trading to master. That's the thing that needs experience. You can't, and experience, you can't buy experience. You just can't. So no one who is trading, I mean, those people, there might be people out there that are just starting to learn how to trade. And if you think you're going to be a professional trader after a year or two by just learning the generic strategies out there that you see, then you're lying to yourself. Because the emotional part, I mean, you can learn a strategy in a week. It doesn't take too much to learn how to trade. It doesn't take too long to learn how to trade. But the psychological part, I mean, I'm not saying there's other parts of trading that you still need to understand. So the money management part, there's other parts as well that you need to learn. But the psychological part is what's going to take you years and years to learn. If you find any strategy out there that's going to win you 80% of the time and has a risk to reward ratio of 3 or 4 to 1, then boy, you're definitely onto something. And that's what my strategy is doing so far. But anyway, I'm gonna switch to the US dollar, the US dollar CAD now, because we're just 4 minutes away from the interest rate decision. And I'm gonna put this on the 15-minute chart. And we look at, I drew this box earlier for this, when I first started this stream, just to kind of give me a weekly perspective of what the move. Well, this is what I think is gonna. I think we're probably gonna get a spike here before we move up. Generally, I think we're gonna go up. We might not get a spike. The market can just head up. We can do that as well. But I think that's gonna be the direction that this market is gonna take. But we'll see, regardless of what the news is gonna be. But it doesn't have enough in terms of the risk to reward ratio. Is just not big enough for me. Like I said, we could get a spike that's 50 pips, 100 pips, 150 pips. We could get that. If we get a spike of 150 pips, then I will be buying. I will be buying if we get a spike of 150 pips. Because that would take the weekly range to around 300 with 2 days to go. I don't see the market extending that. It's going to shrink. And there's a line there. This is line the previous structure. We got a previous structure here. So the market might just come. You know how markets love structures. The market does love structure. So, and this is going to be similar to what the Cardian is going to do. I think the Cardian is going to be heading down. We might get a spike up. This is an extended runner strategy, and this is definitely going to head. We might get a spike up, but again, I don't have the risk to reward ratio in terms of like a favorable risk to reward ratio for me to enter the trade. Because if I was to trade this, I will have a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 1, and that's not good for me in trading. 2 to 1 is not even good for me. You've seen my results in trading at 300-400 pips winners. So my risk to reward ratio is usually 3 to 1 at least. 2 minutes away, so let's see how the markets are gonna react. Let me just see what the forecast is first of all. Canadian interest rate, Bank of Canada. I'll say they're not raising the rates, they're just keeping it the same. They're keeping it the same, so unless they come up with a surprise, then yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. So considering that a lot of banks around the world have been raising interest rates left, right, center in the last few weeks, consistently as well. For them to be the only one that are keeping their interest, I think them and the Bank of Japan are the ones that are keeping interest rate the same. Yeah, that's quite strange. That is quite strange. But let's see. Maybe the analysts are wrong. Sometimes they are. Whatever they predicted, it hardly ever, Let's see, 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Okay, 3 o'clock. Yeah, they didn't raise the interest rate. They kept it the same. So I don't know if we're gonna get a reaction. Do they have a monetary policy meeting after that? If they do, then that's what traders are gonna keep an eye on. Do they have a monetary policy report? So that's gonna be the thing that it's not. They don't even have a press conference, so this might turn out to be a non-event. could be a non-event, but I still maintain the fact that the market will go up. Just that we might not get the spike that I was hoping for. We might not get the spike. Yeah, so it doesn't look like we're getting. I'll come back to this, and let me just double check what my trades are doing. Pound, dollar, yen, still in this corrective phase. The market is still in this corrective phase. I expect the market to head down, obviously, once this correction is done. And here's the thing about correction: you can never tell when a correction is going to end. Corrective patterns like this contraction, you can never tell when it's going to end. So yeah, the short position I have on the dollar yen, it's still looking good. On the one of the pound yen, it's not looking good, because the market is looking like it's gonna continue going up. So let's see how this well, the CAD interest rate turned out to be a non-event, so I wouldn't say non-event just yet, but because there isn't any surprises in terms of like the interest rate is exactly what the analysts expected the Bank of Canada to do, and that's what they've done. And there wasn't any press conference to see in terms of if the market is gonna have a reaction. But yeah, still correcting. I'm gonna stream for half an hour more, guys. If you do have any questions, just put it in the live chat. I'm gonna stream for half an hour more, just to see if this correction is gonna end. If not, then you have to join me on my live stream tomorrow to see how the results are gonna go. But in terms of, let's check on the Canada. Not really getting anything, to be honest. And interest rates usually move the market, by 50, 60, even 100 pips, like within a few minutes. But nothing is happening here. Like I said, we did not get any surprise. The market only moved about 20 pips. We did not get any surprise. The interest rate decision came out as expected. CAD yen. Yeah, there's just no surprises, nothing at all. So let's stay on this trade that I'm in. I'm gonna drop this down to the 5-minute chart. Let's see if yeah, this is a correction after the 117 pips fall that we had at 130, which was apparently due to the CPI that came out worse than expected. So impulse leg, corrective pattern. The next move that's coming is another impulse leg to the downside. Hopefully that's going to be close to where I intend to take my profit, which is somewhere down here. I don't think we're going to get there, so it's going to be up to me when I decide to close my position. But this move is coming, guys, because I predicted this move 2 days ago. For those if you were with me on in my live stream on was it yesterday morning? Yeah. And tomorrow I will be streaming the US session as well. So if you guys do like what you see, feel free to join. Most of the time I only stream the UK session because I live in London, so it's a lot easier for me to stream the UK session because that's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. Yeah. But I will occasionally try and stream the US session when I don't have any lessons, because I do teach people that might have courses, like for example these day trading courses. I do have people that I teach, so that's why I don't stream during US sessions. However, occasionally I might have the odd hour or two to spare in the afternoon, and I wouldn't mind streaming the US session because it's actually more I wouldn't say there's more there's always volatility. Just if I stream during the UK session, I'm only taking pound currency pairs, and obviously during the UK session you expect volatility. I think the most volatility you can find in the market is during or after the US sessions, because that's when, you know, I mean, the US session, the US market is the biggest market in the world, so it's not surprising that, you know, most of the activities, even more people probably trade the US session than they do the UK session. So yeah, let's check back on the CAD and see if we're getting any movement. Okay, it looks like but it's still not what you would expect from a interest rate decision. 33 pips. Come on. Yeah. This is what I would have expected to happen straight after, not 6 minutes after. Straight after, I would expect probably double this type of move, at least 50, 60 pips, maybe even 100 pips spike down before we continue to opposite direction. I still think the market will end up heading higher over the next 2 days. Just like with the CAD yen, I think the market would head down over the next couple of days heading into Friday, because this is the exact strategy I'm trading on the dollar yen, the extended runner strategy. So I do expect the market to head down. Dollar yen still waiting. Don't know how long that correction is going to take. This is the odd one for me. This is the one where I don't have anything structurally that tells me that this market is gonna head down, other than the fact that when I took this trade on Monday night, based on the strategy, when I took this trade on Monday night, this is what I expect the market to do. I expected either the market to give me a corrective pattern just like it's doing on the dollar yen, go up, make a high, and then come down Wednesday, Thursday. That's like the most, in terms of trading these pattern, that is the usual pathway that this pattern usually takes. And then we have the odd scenario where the market, after close, the market would head straight back down. This is a very rare scenario. But whatever happens with this pattern, the market usually heads down. But right now we did not get neither. We just kind of sort of get a corrective pattern. The market head up, and then we're coming back down. So we don't have any, there's nothing to tell me, nothing is telling me right now. I mean, I could probably, let me probably check and show you guys a few of these extended runner pattern. I'm gonna go back to I'm sure I'll find an extended runner pattern. I've only traded 6 of them from the start of this year, so I'll find an extended runner pattern and show you guys. Let me show you an extended runner strategy. Show you the behavior. I'll show you at least a couple of the patterns, and you can see how okay, this is the first one. Here we have an extended runner. You can see how the behavior of the market is. Move up, corrective pattern, one high, and then it heads down for the rest of the day. This is what I expected the US dollar yen. That's what the US dollar yen is doing. But even though we did not get this kind of momentum up, if I had got this kind of momentum in the dollar yen trade, I would have added onto my position. But Wednesday, this is where I expected the US dollar yen to end the day, and that's where I'll be closing my profit. And that's an extended runner trade for you guys. They also another one. This was also another extended runner trade, which ended up being the one with the lowest in terms of the winning that we had here. A move up, corrective pattern, another move up. I think I took a break, not a break even. I took a 32 pips win on this pattern, because heading on to Wednesday, Thursday, I would like to be out of the. I don't want to be in the market on Fridays. I just don't. Let's see if we do have any extended runner. Okay, this won't let me go back all the way back. But anyway, you get the point that I'm trying to make, guys. So I still haven't got any kind of indication in terms of what the market is going to do. So let's check on the CAD. Let's check on the CAD and see if we're getting anything. Nah, this is surprisingly, I don't think we're gonna. This interest rate decision is not having any sort of impact on the market at all. Not having any sort of impact. So yeah, so let's head over to our heading pair. The dollar yen is still correcting, but just like I showed you guys in terms of how the extended runner strategy works. Obviously, this is what I would expected yesterday, and I would have added onto my position. I still got the move. It just wasn't the same as that. But the market is never going to give you, any kind of move that's that is exactly identical. The market doesn't do that. But the rules are the most important thing. The rules is that the market just needs to break above Monday's high, which we did. And you can see the market is turning back down, and by the end of today or sometime tomorrow, we should be very close to the opening price this week, and that's where I will be looking to exit my position, guys. And this is a trade that's gonna happen. You guys feel free to join my live stream tomorrow, and you're gonna see how this is gonna where the market is going to end, because those of you who were with me yesterday, you saw what I told you exactly in terms of this contraction and the market heading up and then the market heading down. Regardless of whatever happens with this extended runner strategy, the market will always head back down. The first time we get an exception on the pound yen, but I'm still quite confident that this market is gonna head down. But what's going to happen today is going to be key. Where the market is going to end today is going to be key. Because as we approach Thursday, even if I get a break even, I'll be out of this trade. Even if I get a break even, so. Because the Fridays is something that you cannot, based on the strategy that I trade and I teach, this day trading strategy, I will never advise any of my students to use this strategy and trade on a Friday. Never. Well, they can if they want to, but they should be prepared to not have good days on Fridays. This is very, very rare that I trade on Fridays. I do have if you look at my results, which is gonna tell you in terms of all the strategies that I trade. There is one called a Friday explosion. I will probably trade this maybe twice or 3 times a year, and you're gonna see so far there hasn't been a single trade on that one. Some of them are just there to kind of especially a 3.1 negative. It's not a strategy that I trade, but it's very important in terms of understanding my strategy, because if you understand a 3.1 negative, then you're gonna know that you can only trade a 3.1 positive. So yeah, it looks like the correction is the market is starting to head back down. But I'm not going to be someone that will tell you that correction is finished, because corrective patterns, you cannot predict. This market could still go back up and make one more high before it heads down. it can still do that. Or it can just head down from here. But regardless of what happens, guys, and the market is gonna head down. So anyway, I've got the last 15 minutes that I'm gonna stream before I call it a day. And if you guys do like what you see, like I said, feel free to join whenever, because I do stream mostly UK session. And as always, when you come, if you do have any questions, you can just ask any questions on the live chat. I will be responding to them. It's unfortunate we did not get any kind of volatility on the CAD today, because the interest rate decision was a disappointment. I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, it just came out as expected. There wasn't any surprises, and markets usually like surprises. But yeah, I will be ending the stream in about 15 minutes, so whew. I need some water. And as you can see, even though I know I'm only trading my day trading strategy right now, you can see that a lot of times I've been making a reference to my other strategies. For example, the contraction and expansion strategy. That's another strategy as well that I'm quite familiar with, but it's not a strategy that you can apply for only day trading. I mean, you can use that strategy for long-term trade, swing trading, and all of that. But it's good to know about it, because if you understand contraction and expansion, then you're going to understand this extended runner strategy a lot better, or you wouldn't panic, so to say, because understanding contraction and expansion is exactly what tells me that this is going to go higher. So in a way, I'm mentally prepared. And this is one of the things that it takes time to kind of master. Like I spoke about this earlier, the mental side of trading, the psychological part of trading is something that takes you time to master. And trading is probably in terms of like testing your mental strength, trading does that from the minute you place a trade. Because the minute you place a trade, your account straight away is a minus because of the spreads. That's where the battle starts. And a lot of people are not comfortable, seeing the trade they're in to be, to be losing. A lot of people are not comfortable with that. And you have to be able to get to a stage where you're comfortable with seeing that, the trade you're in is not heading in your right direction. But I'm not saying to get too cocky that you can think, or you can get too overconfident to tell yourself, oh, it's gonna come back in my direction or whatever. Like, you have to, when the mental side of trading is the hardest part to master, guys. It's the only thing that's gonna take you years and years and years in order to become profitable. That's if you are trading the generic strategies that you find out there, the strategies that it's all over on YouTube, and the strategies that people teach you is just maybe different ways they teach you in different ways. All those strategies, you might learn a strategy, it might work for you straight away, but at some point along the line, you're gonna find that strategy is gonna give you lots of losses, and to the point where you can't even handle it yourself, because that's the reality. Like I said, every generic strategy out there that you see only gonna win you about 60% of the time. And it's only a machine that can be successful with a strategy like that, not a human being. Except if that human being has been through the process, has been through the experience, and that's something that's going to take time, you know. So knowing this contraction and expansion strategy, knowing that, you know, I took a short position in day trading, I know that this is going to happen. But I wouldn't say I know 100. I mean, based on the statistics, 85% of the time I know this is going to happen. But I still chose to be on the 10% side. I still chose there. You know? So it shows I'm very comfortable with my trade being in a losing. I'm very comfortable. This trade one was in a loss for the last, probably from around 8 o'clock UK time last night, all the way to about 1:30 UK time. So it was in a loss for like nearly 15 hours. But I never panicked. In fact, I wanted it to be even more because, like I said, I've got a plan to short the market. Once the market goes all the way up, I've got a plan to short the market. You know, that's one of the things that people, you can't, you know, you have to be able to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because a lot of time trading is gonna make you are gonna be. It's like you're always stepping out of your comfort zone when you're trading, because that mental part, the psychological part, is not something that happens in your comfort zone. It's something that you have to, you know, tap into the what is it called, the deliberative part of your brain. Because a lot of people don't even know this, because, you know, your brain, there's two different sides of your brain that you use for thinking or for analyzing situation. There's the intuitive part, the part that is just kind of is almost like it's got like ready-made answers, or it doesn't really think about things in details, you know. It just answers it. I mean, that's not the part you want if you're a trader, because that part is you're never going to be successful using that part of your brain to, you know, you have to be able to use the other part more, the part that's more deliberative, the part that's more into analyzing situations. Because every single trade that before you take a trade, there's a lot that goes into taking it. It's not just about just looking at the market. Oh, like for example, if I come into this market and I see a contractive pattern, oh, I'm going to be taking a long trade because the market is in contraction. You have to go a little bit into details. You have to look at what happened before, 2 hours before, 2 days before, 3 days before. What was the structure of the market? How is the market moving? You know, analyze the trend of the market. What trend is the market currently in? Okay, so if I go long at this position, where do I take my profit? How high is this market gonna go? You know, look at the bigger picture. Analyze the market in a higher time frame. Am I in the right direction? Am I in the, because, you know, being in the direction of a trend is important, but not always. Especially when you're day trading. I do day trading. I couldn't care less about the direction of the market on a higher time frame. You know, but there's a lot of things that needs to go into. You have to analyze those situations where your stop loss is gonna be, where your take profit is gonna be, which is the point where you're gonna panic and think about what you need to do. Like these are the things that you have to be able to go through all this process, and this takes time for you to master it, to know how to control it. You know, that's the mental part. That's you stepping out of your comfort zone, because you have to be able to get to a place where when you start trading, you're making decisions where it's almost like you're making an unconscious decision, you know, but still be aware of what you're doing. You know, have you, you know, I don't know if you guys watch tennis, but tennis is one of the games that probably uses the mental strength a lot more than, I wouldn't say, I mean, okay, the only reason is because tennis is an individual game. You know, if you look at the world, how many tennis players I know? There's over 200 professional tennis players, right? But why is it that there's only like 3, 4, 5 that are winning the big prizes? Like we're talking about the Grand Slams. Why is it only 4 or 5 people that are winning the Grand Slams? Are they more talented than them? No, not really. I mean, because they all can play tennis. But playing tennis is like, it's like the 200 players that you see there. It's like, it's very similar to trading, because trading is an individual, you know, I wouldn't say sport. It's not a sport, but it's an individual kind of career. You have to, you know, it all happens in your head. It's not a team game. I mean, yeah, you can form a group and, you know, trade together, but when you're trading, it's very similar to tennis. There's so many people that trade, but there's only like this a few that have mastered the art of, you know, the psychological part, the mental part, because that's the part that's going to win you the big prizes. It's not about just, you know, and that's the reason there were only the top 4 or 5 10, I mean, the last, probably, if you look at tennis over the last 20-25 years, I mean, it's only the three people that have consistently won Grand Slams. So, you know, the Nadal, the Federer, and the Djokovic. And we do have the odd ones, Andy Murray, the Wawrinka, that have won 1 or 2 Grand Slams, you know. That's because the mental part. So when people come into trading, it's not as simple as it looks, even though every trade you take, realistically, is a 50% chance the market can either go up or down, right? But that doesn't make it any easier, guys. It doesn't make it any easier. Because like I said, the moment you press that button, the moment you click on that trade, you're already fighting. Because straight away your account is already on minus because of the spreads. So from that moment in time, the mental battle begins, you know, because you question yourself every single point. Did I make the right decision? Especially if the market goes like 10-20 pips against you, start to wonder, what's wrong? Was my analysis wrong? You know, it's a mental battle, and that's what you need to focus on. Having a strategy that, you know, that is good strategy helps. How many good strategies do you know out there? Because like I said, every single strategy that you see out there, all the generic strategies out there, only 60% of the time. So if you're willing to go through that process of, you know, developing your mental edge, knowing how to master your psychology, is a long, it's going to take you years. Like I said, years along the path. You cannot start trading those strategies and say you're going to be a profitable trader in a couple of years or 3 years. It's a long, hard road. You're going to have successes along the way. You're going to have, you know, periods where you're going to feel like, you know, anything you touch turns into gold. But form is temporary. Form is temporary, and you have to get to the point where you have class in trading, where you're going to be able to go through losing periods and still stick to your plan, stick to your method until the wins start to come along. A lot of people crumble once they go through the losing period, because if you're not mentally strong enough, what's going to end up happen is you're going to end up blowing your account, and then you're going to move on to the next strategy and start learning again. Well, on that note, I think I'm gonna stop talking here. Gosh, I've been talking for the last 15 minutes. I'm gonna stop talking here. Let's just try and look at the like I said, yeah, the pound yen, that is gonna be likely gonna be a losing trade, but we'll see. Like I said, the day is not over yet. Hopefully the strength of the yen is gonna change that direction. But in terms of the CAD yen, did we have any action? No, we did not really have anything after the interest rate decision. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here. Like I said, I will stream hopefully tomorrow during the US session as well. I'm gonna stream, and you guys can see the results of this trade. And in the meantime, if you're interested in learning this strategy, head over to my website. Like I said, I've got this is the cheapest course you're gonna find on the internet, guys. The day trading strategy that I teach is the cheapest course you're gonna find on the internet. I do teach advanced pattern. I do teach contraction and expansion. So contraction and expansion, the reason why is that, you know, because it's a long, you know, it's gonna take 3 months. This is gonna take a month. So, and yeah, there's just a lot to do when it comes to contraction and expansion. But it's very important in understanding structure of the market, because this is the language of the forex market. and technical analysis is very, very important. If you are going to trade any technical strategy, you have to be able to understand how the market works, and contraction and expansion is what teaches you that. Day trading course, what you see that I've been doing, that's what I'm gonna but yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop the stream now, and hopefully guys, I will see you very soon, tomorrow hopefully.